Hi everyone. This video today is tips from the field, or indeed, as you can probably see, tips from the fishing lake today regarding Android device selection when considering using them within the enterprise. Okay, so there's 4 tips. Tip number 1: understand the support levels of the handsets you're going to purchase, or indeed the ones you already have. So what do I mean by that? As a general rule, an Android device, and this isn't an exact science, an Android device will receive security updates for 3 years from date of release. So bear that in mind, date of release, not manufacturer. Okay, so you could purchase a device that's a year old, so you decide to go for last year's model, and whilst that may be quite competitive, you'll save a bit of money on it. You're probably going to be losing a year's worth of updates, at least, maybe even 18 months. So just sort of bear that one in mind. Also bear in mind that the fact that devices will receive updates at different cadences. Okay, so some will be every 90 days, some will be twice a year, some will be monthly, and that will vary within a single OEM across handsets. So for example, Samsung, some of their flagship models like the S21, I can almost guarantee will receive monthly updates, whereas maybe some of the A range of models like the A12 will only be like twice a year or every 90 days. So just sort of take that into consideration, and that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to consider the use of the 2 bulk enrollment programs that are available for Android. So there's Android Enterprise Zero Touch, and there's Samsung Knox Mobile Enrollment. There's an important difference between the two that I just want to point out, and that is with Android Enterprise Zero Touch, there's no way to provision existing devices into the service. Okay, you can only purchase new devices from an authorised reseller, and they will make them available in that portal for you. Whereas with Knox Mobile Enrollment, there is a way to provision existing kit into the service. It's probably the main difference to be aware of. So that's number 2. Tip number 3 is to consider purchasing devices that have been certified with either Android Enterprise Recommended or Android One devices. So Android Enterprise Recommended devices, guaranteed security updates every 90 days for 3 years, and guaranteed 1 major OS upgrade. Okay, whereas Android One, guaranteed updates every 30 days, and also has the benefit of 2 guaranteed major OS upgrades, which is great. Another thing to bear in mind with Android One is that you'll have a very vanilla OS on those devices with very minimal built-in apps, and that's because Google will have to approve any apps that the OEM wants to build within the OS on the device. Predominantly Nokia devices on that side, but there are a few other handsets as well. So that's another sort of good consideration. Okay, and finally, tip number 4: consider the spec of the devices that you're purchasing. So my recommendation is a bare minimum is make sure they've got 3 gig of RAM and 32 gig of onboard storage. Okay, the RAM purely for performance, the onboard storage purely because of some of the overhead of enrolling the device into Android Enterprise. You're going to massively struggle on a 16 gigabyte device or below. Okay, ideally I'd go for 4 gig and more. Processor wise, I've not really looked into that yet, but ultimately that's going to affect it too. So you know, those kinds of specs are going to affect the enrolment time of the devices and ultimately the end user experience. Okay, so that's it. 4 tips to consider when selecting Android devices for use in the enterprise. Hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching.